that's not the correct one. This is the correct one. Rabbit. What's up? What's up?
So, Gary, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, Steven? Omar? Steven, you're sideways.
I can do that. Alright, let me switch around.
I mean, it's okay, but in case you don't want to be sideways. There you go.
There we go.
Have you met Omar? Omar, have you met Steven?
No. How's it going, Omar?
Omar is muted.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Omar looks like he just woke up.
Dude, I just woke up.
Omar, where's your sound at? Well, while he figures that out, I need to get this link out to the other peoples who ought to be showing up. So just bear with me for 1 second here. So there's that one. I'm trying to remember if I had anybody else I was trying to invite on. Who else? Maybe Spencer. Omar, are you there yet? I gotta go to Gmail. How's it in Colorado, Steven?
I don't know, man. I just woke up. The air was beautiful last night.
Yeah?
Protest was pretty gnarly the other day.
Did you attend?
Yeah, I got hit back in the face on that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I heard they burnt a police station here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Oregon. Yeah. I like that.
We're actually like up the hill, so when the zombie apocalypse starts for real, like they're gonna have to climb up a giant ass hill to get here first if they want to try to bother us.
Well, if there ever is a zombie apocalypse, we'll definitely start in Oregon.
Yeah, we've got a lot of them here. Okay, I'm gonna send one last message. Let's see. One last message. All right. Oh, no more Omar at all. What the heck? Omar is gone. Technical. So what's happening, Steven? It's you and me.
Are we the only ones?
I don't know. People come in and out of this thing. Sometimes last time I had like 7 or 8 people coming in and out.
Oh, really?
Yep. But who knows? It's crazy enough everywhere that you never know like who's gonna actually be able to make it.
Yeah.
And then there's technical difficulties always on top of it. So I don't know. I don't know. Oh. Mm-hmm.
So is this live? Like, on YouTube?
It's live, yeah. But I'm trying to even see if I can see where the chat's at. Omar, can you, do you have a voice yet? Nope. Maybe we can try. Maybe we should just go back to Zoom.
I have to get like that again.
Really?
Which is fine. I mean, like,
I hope we got somebody else. I mean,
it appears even higher than what we thought.
Jitsi worked fine. Jitsi has worked fine for the most part, but we had one time where it was super slow and laggy, and Omar said that it was experiencing DDoS attacks or some bullshit. So I tend to go to the thing that works the most often, and so far that has been Zoom. But who's 11? Who's number 11? 11, are you there? Can you hear me? Who is this? I'm about to shut this shit down and start it on Zoom so we can hear everybody. Omar, unless you want to text me and let me know what's going on, or if you want to.
I'll download Zoom.
You down with Zoom?
Yeah, I'll be on.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna Zoom, Omar. Z O O M. Zoom. I can't hear you at all. No hearing. So, sorry everybody. Technical difficulties in the realm of, you know what realm this is. This realm was made out of technical difficulties. It's created from it. Okay. So we're gonna stop this one. And unable to connect to chat, please try again later. Okay. So we're just gonna do Zoom. Oh god, you have to update. It's forcing an update. That's some bullshit. How's everyone doing? I believe I can see the chat if there is a chat. Someone try chatting and see if I can see it. Anybody here? If you're watching this and you can hear me and you can see the chat, please write something. Zoom is forcing me to update it before I... Let's see. Alright, let's try it now. Okay, I think Zoom's gonna work. Where's my invite button? The heck? There's no invite button. Mute, stop video, security. Ah, here we go. Copy invite link. Rum was like, I'm not working for you today. I'm sorry, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it, bro. Realm's like, I really wish I could work for you, but you're supposed to be out there like burning down police buildings and shit. You're not supposed to be on here talking like a civilized human being. Like, what the fuck is that about? What the fuck is that about? Why are you not out there like stomping on people's faces and shit like that? That's what you should be doing, right? So I'll send it all to the regular spots again. Gmail. Send one to Dan, even though I don't think Dan's going to be coming. As I write this, the U.S. burns for George Floyd. Is anybody here? Where is everyone's snail? My bell keeps getting unrun. What's up, Joe? Thank you for joining and speaking. Now that I know that something is happening here. Okay. No face stomping happening in little... What's up, Steven? Can you hear me? Steven? Question for you. You have to press unmute on your end. Press unmute on your end. Unmute. There you go. I got you. Steven, I have a question for you. Why are you not out in the streets stomping on people's faces and burning down buildings and, like, why aren't you being violent? The call to action has already been sent out. I don't know what you're doing sitting inside of your house.
It's because I'm white. It was scary going out to that. Like, dude, there was literally a woman at the, like, it was like Colfax and Broadway, like, intersection, and she was going into labor, and they had all the traffic blocked off.
What?
And they wouldn't let her go through because they were protesting. And then, like, the guy is, like, gets out and he starts screaming. He's like, listen, my wife's going to labor. Like, she's about to give birth inside of our car. Like, the hospital is 6 blocks away. Like, let us through. And, like, so most of the people let him through, but then this one black dude jumped on top of the car with a baseball bat and broke the window while his wife was in the passenger seat.
What is
gnarly.
Is that how you got hit in the back with the baseball bat because you went to defend the woman?
No, that was a separate crime.
Okay. I thought you were going to tell me your hero story.
Oh no. I mean, I was watching this from a distance. It was, have you seen the fact, like, I've seen lots of these videos online where, like, you'll see protesters walking around in Minnesota and they'll stumble across, like, a bunch of bricks.
Yeah, I heard about it. What's up, Spencer?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. How's everybody?
So, Spencer?
I'm good. Steven, this is Spencer. Spencer, Steven, if you guys are not aware of each other.
Yes, sir. How's it going today, my man?
Pretty good, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. A little sore from the protests the other day, but worth it.
Yeah, I do too.
So worth it.
I have not been a part of a protest yet, but you guys feel free to share your stories.
To be fair, if it was a protest, I wouldn't have been involved. It was more of a riot.
Okay.
Yeah, it started out. It always starts out as a march, and then it evolves and it turns into a protest. And those protests are the ABCs of riots. Every time. People don't just
Especially whenever you include agent provocateurs who are going around, like, breaking the shit for the government in order to make shit look bad.
They were, like, I've been to, I'm trying to think, back in 2013, I went to protest the Keystone XL pipeline in D.C., and that was a protest. Like, that was a march. This was definitely, they destroyed a cop car. So, like, I'm trying to think.
It seemed like the cops wanted to instigate a riot because they came to the, like, souped up in their bulletproof vests with batons and, like, their guns and tasers and stuff, and they try to keep people calm with, like, force cops around, but it's like, once those people left, they try to use fear tactics with their tear gas, mace, and, like, their, what were the guns?
They had paintball guns.
Yeah, like
Paintball guns? Wow.
Yeah, rubber bullets. Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to take the highway, and they started busting out their paintball guns and tear gas weapons. So
Wow.
didn't stop me
Yeah, I
from
got
arresting a couple dozen people on
Yeah,
the
around
highway.
that time we were leaving, they were actually coming out with, like, face shields, and then when we actually left, they were coming out with, like, riot shields and stuff
Yeah.
to try to stop people.
Yeah.
But successfully shut down Houston.
This is crazy to me that I was talking to Andrew yesterday, that it's not the first time that police have ever been dicks and, like, face stomped somebody or killed somebody. It's not the first time this has ever happened, and yet this particular time now it's reason to have every single major U.S. city rioting and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little silly to me that.
It's not just the U.S.
Huh?
It's not just the U.S. All over the fucking world.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the whole, it's like
To
taking over in Essex, London. Like they started yesterday or
Yeah, Peking had a protest yesterday that I think started to turn into some pretty civil unrest. And from what I haven't really done that much homework on everybody else, but my friend who lives over in England said they were starting over there, and it was same reason, same cause. Even though their cops really don't carry.
That's what we're talking.
Yeah, cops are more peaceable.
Cops in England don't even carry guns. They have batons only.
awesome.
Well, the thing is, all the thing you have to do is go on somebody's neck and let it kill them. You don't have to have a gun.
I know.
That's one of the things that people were yelling yesterday. They were like, "Don't shoot! Don't shoot!" I'm like, dude, the guy got his neck fucking squashed. Like, he didn't get shot.
Mhm.
Or I guess saying don't shoot.
Yeah.
I thought the whole "I can't breathe" chant was pretty cool
That was one.
because it was like tying it back to COVID a little bit.
Yeah. Have you heard about Loosh?
Who's asking this?
We just one of the sub questions. I think it was a rhetorical question though. Yeah, I feel like this realm, this whatever level of inception that we have plopped into here is deciding it's going to reveal its face more clearly now. That's what it feels like to me. It does not feel like natural happenings have finally coalesced to result in the world on fire. I feel like the realm itself is showing its actual backbone. And we have to decide how to react.
I think this is more manufactured.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's through the manufacturing. It's this place itself. It's a similar thing to what what's his face talks about. What Matt talks about. It's like the realm itself is a weaponized room that you are sitting inside of, and depending on what type of movement you make, it busts out a certain little hammer comes out of the wall and bonks you on the head, or some sort of a lost statue comes and hits you upside the face. It's like it's a weaponized room that it's like a living consciousness room, like in what was that movie? There's a movie with it. I forget.
It's one big game of fucking whack-a-mole.
It is. It's a game of whack-a-mole, and it's like I don't know. Like I tried to think, should I be like jumping in there, with just embrace it? Like, yes, you want me to be violent, you want me to go, punch people in the face, you want this and that. I've always been going the peaceful sort of warrior route, and love and light and all of that. But like maybe we are just supposed to get out there and raise hell in this place. I don't know.
I mean,
I personally, I just like watching it evolve.
Someone go.
I like watching it fall apart in live time to me.
Yeah, that part is nice, especially because there are so many lies. Like, the realm is built on lies. This whole place is built on lies. So, like, if some of the lies start unraveling themselves, I think that would be a good thing. Omar, do you have a voice yet? Hi, Omar.
Can you hear me?
Oh, wow. Yeah, your voice is modulated. Oh, man.
remix.
Sound great.
This reminds me of the drunk conversation I had with Uber when I was trying to extract $2,000 from them. I called them up. I was real pissed off that they had cut me off, and I was speaking to their reps as if they were AI, because I'm pretty sure they are AI for the most part. They're telephone reps, and I was just calling them out for being AI. And as soon as I called them out for that, they devolved into the voice modulation that Omar is having right here. It was just like it was sing-song robot tones. The whole conversation devolved into that, and I was like, oh wow, it's very interesting. Omar? What?
I can sort of hear you. I can hear. You sound kind of like R2D2.
Yeah.
How about now?
It's modulated. It's like your voice is coming through, through an R2D2 filter.
Oh god. Can we turn off the video recorder? Some places have this too.
What?
What do you mean, what the fuck? How do you think we get the recordings of this fucking show, man?
There we go. I can hear that.
Omar's here. Omar's fiery today.
Yeah, good morning. Now, let me plug in my speakers so I can actually hear things, because this laptop sucks.
Okay. Hey, Rebecca. What's up?
She destroyed my crate.
Who has the best beard? It's not me, because I have, like, the least amount of beard of everybody here.
Can't see the bottom of Mars chin there.
Omar, you gotta get higher so everyone can see your beard. We're having a beard competition, apparently. There you go.
I mean,
I fell.
how inadequate do you feel, Gary?
Yeah, I feel, what's the word? Emasculated, I think is what it's called.
Listen, Joseph doesn't have a beard.
I fell. I don't got no beard.
Oh, nice. Is he
Very
is he clean shaven? If he's clean shaven, that means I'm like second to bottom at least.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah, they told me I needed a mask at Walmart, so I took a hairband. My beard up.
That's good.
It's kind of retarded that they make people with a huge beard wear a mask. I guess don't do anything.
They tried to force me to wear a mask on the bus, and I got into a conversation with him. I was like, "Did you know the size of the particulate is smaller than the holes in the N95 mask?" And then he completely disregarded what I said. Oh, we have somebody. Hold on, guys. I gotta get a package.
The package has arrived. I need to plug this in. Don't worry about the die. Shit.
So Andrea has a new project where she's making resin creations. So like little clear necklace things, or various ways that you can put things inside of resin and have like a still life created out of it.
That's cool.
So she got a UV flashlight delivered today because our flashlight sun is not always shining here.
The flashlights.
Rebecca, can you hear? Do you have a voice? Where did Omar go?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hi.
Beard mask. They won't be using any of my footage.
You win second from the bottom now, Gary. Now that Rebecca's here.
She doesn't count. You have to have the capacity to grow a beard in order to be in the competition.
I mean, hormones are a hell of a thing.
Women have the capacity for it. Like,
Yeah, but
all it takes is like one extra letter on a chromosome.
yeah, I know. We've seen the experiments walking around. I have, at least.
Yeah.
Experiments.
Wait, is it the beard meeting?
Yes.
Strictly?
No.
Yeah, we're trying to kick Gary out of it.
Well, apparently Spencer's friend has less beard than me, so I'm allowed to stay based off of that.
Yes.
No, we kicked him out.
I have a slight mustache.
Okay.
A slight mustache.
So does Gary.
Yeah, can we just claim our beard when they say you need to be wearing a mask? Just be like, yeah, I heard particulate size doesn't matter at all and it's fully irrelevant. You just need to be wearing a face covering. And since particulate size does not matter, then this counts as a face covering. Right? Can I claim that?
Did you see Alyssa Milano in her picture with her family? She crocheted her own mask. It was literally crocheted. So it had like centimeter gaps in it. Like it was big.
What?
It
Your
was
package.
like the virus didn't have to be the size of a fucking blue jay.
Yeah.
In order to not go through
Yeah.
that.
That's what we need. We need that kind of idiocy. That's what we need to show the actual idiocy of the size, the particulate size versus a regular cloth mask. Like, we need that type of exaggeration to show the people the sort of silliness that's going on the actual level of what seems to be a protection against COVID.
My favorite line so far was, "You need to wear a mask to come in here," and I just looked at him and told him I was a Muslim, like with a really strong word.
I just tell them I'm Orthodox and that I'm offended that they even brought it up.
Dude, the only thing I said was I'm Muslim, and the guy said, "Okay, you can go." Like, that was all I said. I didn't have to argue the point or anything. He just didn't want to be labeled as a bigot for no reason at all. I love America. It's so easy to get.
America's great.
Yeah, Andrea told somebody on the plane that she had a condition, and then they left her alone after that.
I told you about when I was in Dallas, right? And I was like living in my car, and I was bathing in bathrooms, and the guy's bathroom, some guy was in there like shooting up dope or something. So I had to like use the female bathroom to get ready for work.
Mm-hmm.
And like the angry Middle Eastern shop owner starts like pounding on the door after 2 minutes. He's like, "You can't be in there." I came out and I was like, "I'm trans. I can be in there if I want to." With a full beard, and the guy was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this is what I've always felt. I've felt that the control structure, it gets off on basic like 1-0 responses to questions. So like if you're not doing the thing, right? The thing is wear mask or social distance, then it gets mad at you for not doing that thing. But if you come up with any other response other than I'm wearing a mask because X, or I'm not wearing a mask because X, if you say something like I'm not because I'm a Muslim, or the bird community of Oregon has granted me the special right to not wear a mask because I'm trying to grow a beak. Like, literally make anything up. Anything. That's just silly. And the thing will, the computer can't understand that, or
Yeah, it dissolves.
it just dissolves, yeah. It will start short-circuiting in front of your face.
Yeah, it's extremely funny.
You can hear me now, right?
Yep. Dr. Bean's work.
Good. Okay, well then, the issue is my 4-year-old piece of shit laptop. I switched to the iPad, and my new laptop will be here in 5 days, so...
Okay. So,
Using a phone.
I'm glad you figured it out, Omar.
Well, I figured it out months ago. I was just stubborn and trying to make my old thing work, but it doesn't, so...
Even new things barely work, let alone old things.
Well, new things work fine when you put Linux on them, so it'll be good. I don't trust Windows. It doesn't work half the time anyway.
Windows is horrible. That's my only reason for using a Mac, is because they somehow figured out how to not have viruses on everything everywhere.
Well, Macs can get rooted.
It can?
Yeah, they can get rootkits, but Mac is like Linux, but with really, really fancy graphics. You just have to put a firewall in front of it and then basically deny every connection in except for what you want to use, like video or whatever. The semantics can be explained later, but that's just, the title of the book.
Gotta make up.
Okay, I think if I put this on, we can pressure Omar into putting a hat on. Because now he's the only one without a hat.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hi, Omar.
Hi, Rebecca.
Gosh, Omar, you have the look of Tom Hanks in Castaway after like 6 months.
There you
They are
go.
now wearing a hat, you stupid motherfucker.
Excellent. Can join the calls if they're wearing a head covering for religious purposes.
You need a band though.
Mexican fanatic
You need a band to hold it together. It's gonna come out. Social conditioning cues. I don't even know why they have police outside doing anything, because the lemmings don't even need that anymore. Somehow they just get the orders pumped directly through the iPad or whatever the fuck they're watching, the TV.
The police thing is weird, because they're just using them as sort of like they're being used. I was thinking about this when I woke up. They're being like made to do shit that they wouldn't normally do, just to like think. I know like 4 people that have actually been tear gassed. Personally,
I wasn't one of them.
I've known them for a long time, and these aren't people that would normally be getting tear gassed. So something is. It's not normal protocol for the police just to like start throwing tear gas at people.
Right.
It is now.
Now it is.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying with the whole thing. Like, it's not the first time that a black man has ever been mistreated by police. Yet, still, the world at this particular juncture is deciding, oh well, since that happened, now we need to burn every city, and now we need to tear gas every single protest. Like, that's just. The world's like, this is the level we're at, like, blink your eyes, oh, tear gas him, like.
Well, I'm not putting this out there because I want to see it, but I'm curious about this. I was thinking about this in bed the other night. If they really wanted to put everybody in camps, they would just make everybody destroy their own cities, and so nobody had anywhere to buy food, and they were used to being 6 feet apart for being in lines and shit to get processed in the fucking camp. You get too close to somebody, you get tased in the camp. I don't know.
Well, the camps I've actually seen with the ones that have numbers and letters on the fence where people line up.
You've seen them?
Much closer than 6 feet. Well, I mean, you've seen the videos.
Back in the day, they thought Walmart was building camps. Mart Law, right?
Well, Walmart's
They
already.
bro. Are.
What, Omar?
There's a lot of weird shit about Walmart.
Walmart is already a camp. It's like a fucking cult. You like buying stupid shit that you don't need, you go to Walmart.
Yeah,
You like eating food that's not actual food, you buy your food at Walmart.
their logo is the cube also. That little 6-dotted... Well, every single hexagon is a representation of the cube, but that's like a clever hiding of it.
It is. It's like the negative.
You know why companies use logos like this, right? Because they're like runic architecture. They're really recognizable. It has nothing to do with being evil. It's just a symbol that talks to the subconscious, so you're familiar with the company before you buy anything.
Yeah, but if you characterize things as evil, then it's much more fun to talk about, because then you feel scared.
No, then you're just admitting you haven't fixed the programs yet, and you're still fucking running them.
I'm not scared of Walmart, but I think it's hilarious to talk about. That's what literally everybody does. I do it for like a talking point. If I didn't do that to some extent, I would never talk about anything. I would just sit around and like stare at flowers and shit.
Sorry, gloves are off today. I'm just gonna be myself.
It's alright.
Wait, are we not allowed to just sit around and smell the flowers? Because, shit.
I don't know. I don't know who's writing the rules.
Well, that's what I do every day, so I assume it's fine. I haven't been struck by lightning.
So Omar is feeling testy today. So who wants to challenge him on a theoretical concept?
Shit.
Any takers?
My phone's not today.
Oh God, excuses.
I've only had 380 milliliters of coffee, but I think we can do this.
I've got one.
Top her off.
What do you got, Spencer?
I need more coffee.
Let's debate the quantum theory of supersymmetry, because I don't think it's symmetrical.
What's up, Andrew?
What's up?
Then it's like, I
Oh,
think
good
it's
morning.
How y'all doing?
Hey, how are you?
All right.
Yay. Are you gonna join us today?
I'm always beside him. I just don't like to be like right here.
Oh, I know. But are you gonna talk today?
I'm talking right now.
You are.
See, that was the first challenge that Omar finally got. All you guys are like, excuses, super symmetry.
Spencer tried, and he made an interesting point because Spencer, it's symmetrical when it forms matter and
Your
mass,
resin king.
but it's asymmetrical the entire time
Yourself?
because entropy has
Or
to
your
flow through the system
UV light.
to exist.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it. I'm waiting for one more thing.
Sorry, Omar, go ahead again.
I don't know about you guys, but I've never actually seen a quantum. Like,
You're living in one.
Yeah, everything you see is quantum.
So the entire system has to allow
no
for entropy.
quantum.
The entire system has to allow for entropy, yet it meets symmetry when things intersect and form objects. This is symmetrical in the simulation, you are symmetrical, but when things happen that's unexpected, then it's entropy, and that's how the system expands. The entropy eventually settles out and makes something.
giving it that look of lack of symmetry. Beautiful.
It's a similar thing to the chess game, right? The chess game, it starts off symmetrical, but in order to beat somebody, you have to introduce distortions. Although at the highest levels, when computers start solving the game, they find that every single distortion is just revealing the further level of balance. That's why nobody likes the supercomputers solving the chess game, because you don't ever win the game. You just go off into fractals of variations that show very beautiful draws. It's the same thing as this
because
room.
the computer is programmed to find all the possible moves, not to end the game prematurely and win.
Right. That's the ideas of winners and losers is something that's also has to be introduced into the system. It's a game that you have to play.
I don't know. A lot of the chess programs I played, they seem to win. They seem to try to go after checkmate pretty early.
Well, if it can, yeah, it evaluates the strength of the player's moves, and if it can kill it, it'll kill it. But usually, if it has a decent player, it's just going to start having fun with it because it's kind of programmed. They're only programmed to do what people make them do. It takes all the permutation sets of possible moves and then just works with that because it's a matrix.
Yeah.
And I mean a data matrix. So it knows what all the pieces do, and it knows where they can go on the board at any given time. So it's always going to be better than you.
But it doesn't have infinite calculation, though.
Yeah, it does. The game is a closed loop system. It knows exactly where everything can go, and they can only move inside the board. They can't go outside the board, so it is a closed loop system.
No, but the number of possible moves is high enough that even our systems now can't calculate all of them. If they had been able to do,
that's not true at all.
So you're saying chess has actually been solved and it's known on some level?
If you think about it, you have a grid of 8 by 8. What is it? It's 8 by 8, right?
Yeah, 64 squares.
64 squares.
Yeah, okay. So you have that grid, and then you have the pieces. Pawn can move n plus 1, n times 1, n y1. You give them all variables, and then you put the variable list together, and then it sees, okay, there's this much space in between that piece that the other person has and my piece. Well, okay, that means I can move this piece here, but not n times 1. And then it just runs through whatever the best move is based on the weight that's assigned to each piece being captured and the mathematical formula that the guy programmed the thing with, and it just goes. It's completely
Yeah,
fine.
but at the same time, you have every pawn also has a possibility of being any other piece in the game. There's a lot. I mean, of course, Deep Blue has already beaten Garry Kasparov, and hell, you have AlphaGo has already beaten the best South Koreans. There's really
The game has not been solved in the same way that checkers has been solved. I know that for a fact, at least on the level of public knowledge. Maybe in the dumbs they have full-on knowledge that chess is fully solved, and they're laughing at the silly creatures up top pretending that it hasn't. But as far as I know, the game itself has not been solved as checkers has been solved.
what Steven
Well,
said.
if you want to look at life like
Is it Steven or Stefan?
Steven.
When you get to the stuff like pawns being promoted, that just starts getting into set theory. So
it gets exponential though, because each tree has, every time you add another move, it jumps up exponentially in the number of
like
calculations you need to be able to hold. And being that games can go to 150 moves, if you have exponential growth, even supercomputers cannot hold that thing. It's more. Someone said it's more possibilities than stars in the sky or pebbles on the beach or some shit like that. Like
that's conceptual, but when you move a piece, you also remove other combinations. So it's really not about how much it can store. It's about how it decides to do things with the data.
Perhaps it's predictability that is predictable.
Okay, now you're just going to put butter on a piece of toast and call it an ostrich.
But to be fair, if you look at the universe like a gigantic supercomputer, and we look at quarks like ones and zeros, up and down quarks, then the processing power of a universe is much greater than any supercomputer could ever be. And it's based 100% based off of, causality. Like ones and zeros. It's all dual. It's all binary. But we don't see it like that. We see it as a mass collection of atoms that talks and has a personality unto itself. But when it all comes down to it, it's really this up or down quark, 1 or 0.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I can't argue with that.
The amount of processing our universe has is equal to the amount of atoms in it, which is fucking huge.
It's not equal to the number of atoms. It's equal to the combinations. That's why, like, if you compare the chess game and then try to compare this universe in the multitude of combinations, it's impossible to even think about. Like, I can't even come close to mentally comprehending what the total number of chess games that is possible. I can't even I can like kind of think about like what that means as a framework, but to try to actually go into that and see like how long it would take for a one individual mind to see all these possibilities. Okay, and then go from that to the amount of atoms that we have in this realm, and then the different choices that each being can make and how they move themselves, and then how that interacts with all the other beings around them, how they bounce off and all that. It's impossible to even think about as far as computing.
Are you guys familiar with Dan Winter's work on Planck length and phi?
No.
Yeah.
Like the Planck constant, PLANC?
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Steven, are you in the group on... You saw the post that Gary put, right? I'll try to throw a link in there.
Yeah. Definitely.
This guy used to work for IBM in the 70s and 80s, and then quit and decided to develop this thing called the HeartMath Institute, and he does a lot of really interesting programming. He's a genius, there's no doubt about that, but what his focus is electrical technologies that can help somebody bring their body and their physical field into coherence through breathing. He's got an app called Flame in Mind and I Thrive Chakra, and you can buy little monitors and plug it into the app and then practice breathing techniques, and it mathematically calculates how coherent your breathing is with your heartbeat and stuff. It's pretty interesting. And it's all based on the science that he's been studying for the last 30, 40 years.
Unfortunately, I don't have a very stable heartbeat. My heart kind of beats to its own drummer. It's, yeah. Every time I've ever gotten, like, blood drawn, the doctor has looked at me like, what the fuck? No discernible blood pressure because my pulse is too erratic.
I just assume the mind's doing what it's supposed to if I'm still here. When I was like super anxiety prone, I was like, feeling for it, and like, where is it? I can't feel it. And I'd be like, self-referentially wondering, am I dying? But just was doing whatever I wanted to do.
Your heart or your mind?
Heart.
Okay.
Like, you ever get really, 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 really stoned and you're like, I can't feel my heartbeat. And then you start thinking existentially about everything and you're like poking things and you're like, oh, my hand is still there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess not. You should.
I don't think Gary's ever been that.
I've been. Oh God! Don't even start. My heart it started going to like 200 plus beats per minute, and I thought I was dying. I probably was dying. I probably did die. This is just the afterlife to that fucking horrifying experience.
Was that the one time you smoked weed?
From your one time weed? One time you smoked weed?
I had never smoked, and I had like 3 to 4 massive bong rips that I held for about 15 seconds each. So I basically died. Like, I'm still trying to integrate that experience right at this very moment.
The first time that I smoked, I was handed it.
Right before I got on here.
Wait, we only have like 30 seconds. Are we trying to do a round 2 or no?
Yes! Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? The first time I smoked, somebody handed me a piece of hash this size with green pea, and I just funneled the whole thing.
No.
I was like, oh, wow. Oh, interesting. Oh, and then I ate all the candy, like, for hours. Went to a party, got drunk, flirted terribly. Start the thing again.
Okay, hold on.
How
Bye.
does this work?
I'll get you guys
Get
a
a
link
link.
in a sec.
Alright,
Link!
Link.
Zelda!
Alright. New meeting.
I'm sweating.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot in here.
Participants. How do I forget already how to do this shit? It was what? There we go. Copy invite link. Okay. And then
All I need now are my molds.
your molds.
Yeah.
Did you find a battery for the flashlight?
Yep.
Does it work? Nice. Excellent. Who else? Spencer.
Oh, it has modes.
Omar. Ooh.
Or maybe I'm just breaking it. Was it doing that before? Oh, that's weird.
Flashing and gyrating.
No, it doesn't have modes. I don't know what that was about.
Don't know.
I'm gonna check the mailbox room.
Do we have any questions from the viewers? Why do I have to admit people? This is nonsense. Okay, admit. Okay. See, this is nonsense.
What is it doing?
It's making me admit. It's making me open the door, basically. Like, it says Omar's at the door, knock knock, and I have to open the door for you.
You know it's supposed to do that because they've had security issues lately, right? That's new default behavior.
Oh, is that there for my protection?
This is the new normal.
No. This is so you don't get Zoom bombed, which means a bot scans the meeting and then it comes in and says, "Suck gay dick, suck gay dick, suck gay dick." This was happening at corporate meetings, like City Hall had a meeting somewhere, and like all these bots came in and flooded the meeting and put on pornography, and this was being broadcast like onto a screen in the Civic Center.
Nice.
So Zoom had to retool software so this wouldn't happen. So that's why that is.
That's probably good that that's happening at City Hall meetings.
Oh, it's funny, but you remember the Legend of Zelda, right? The game?
No, I've never heard of this game.
Oh, don't do that. Okay, so Gary said Link right when the other thing was hanging up, and I remembered something hilarious I need to share. Okay, it's audio. This is a parody somebody made that played Zelda, so just tell me if you can hear this. I'm going to turn it on. It's a minute long. Can you hear it?
No.
Kind of.
Can't hear it all.
I mean, I can hear it, but brain and heart coherence. I like it. I can dig it.
It's only a minute long, so just bear with it.
I can't hear it all.
That's better. Am I gonna get copyright striked by Legend of Zelda now?
Yeah, this is
I think it's a parody.
Ah.
Yeah, you're telling it Nintendo.
No, the whole thing is a parody. If you want to look it up on YouTube, it's called Link He Come to Town.
Linky come to town?
Link He Come to Town.
That's a weird name.
Well, it's because it's made by Russians, so the parody translates into literal English.
We need Dan here to appreciate Russian humor.
Well, see, there's something really fun. I've been working with Russian developers lately for my tracks because they're all Russian or Australian. And they have a very particular way of talking. Everything has a gender. Everything is very logical.
Nice.
The way that people who don't speak English form sentences is a lot more sensical than the way people English speak sentences, because the ordering of the word is a lot more natural to how you see it in your head. I feel really bad for anybody that comes to this country and tries to learn this fucking language. It's hellish. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
I came to this country and learned the language.
Where did you immigrate from?
My mother's womb.
I know you were fucking around. I'm just running with it. What language did they speak in there?
Not a lot of English.
Did it sound like it was underwater?
Oh God, I try to block away most of them.
You don't remember being in the womb? Shut the fuck up, Steven.
Whatever. I had a newspaper. I remember there was some Iranian hostages.
Were you smoking a cigarette in there too?
Did you have a fly swatter and a can of beer?
Yeah, I try to stand my ground and shoot the doctor whenever he tried to pull me out. Domain! Squatter's rights! Squatter's rights!
Go back to Waco.
I tried to stay in there too.
Get back in your house, Steven. Steven's like, okay, I wanted to be in there anyway.
Well, apparently I didn't want to come out. I was like 44-hour course. So.
44 hours?
Yeah.
Wow. I feel bad for you.
I remember being born though.
I don't know how you guys remember this. I don't have any memories past 4.
I have double Asia. I don't remember anything until I was like
Bullshit.
5.
I don't have any memories past 28. Okay.
You don't remember being younger than 28?
No.
Really?
Well, I'm really proud of you getting sober though, Gary. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah, I'm 1 year old according to my sober date.
That means you can get what? Was that gray chip for 1 year?
It
Yeah.
means he's a lot healthier than he was a year ago.
Yeah, in AA we call ourselves by our birth date is by our sobriety date. So I'm 1 year old. I'm 1 year and a week old now.
Do you go to AA?
I used to.
Yeah, I used to.
It's a
I
cult.
tried it for a while. It didn't work. I just decided to do it on my own.
It's a cult like every other organization. Like
Even are you sober too?
Am I sober? Am I?
From alcohol, you son of a bitch.
Nah, we got like a White Claw right there.
Oh, okay.
A White Claw with vodka poured into it to spice it up.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Ooh, Gary. Don't let the spirits get you. The spirits.
They have no sway over me unless I allow them to, and I don't allow them to right now.
Yeah, I have very high faith in your ability to stay sober, as opposed to most other people who are, have no willpower. I've seen people with alcohol treat it like it was meth or, a hardcore drug. Like, whenever I was taking care of alcoholics and drug addicts at the halfway house in South Carolina, dude, the alcoholics were just as bad as the heroin addicts. Like,
Can be.
they would see a beer commercial and they would just fucking flip out. Like, the guy actually talked about it in a meeting that night. He was like, I'm fidgety right now because I saw a Corona commercial, and the guy was completely serious. And he was like, I would have murdered everyone in the room for one drink.
Wow.
And dude, like, he was completely serious. I was like, really, one drink? I would like a drink per murder, so at least you get it fucked up by that.
And then you'll have a lower body count, right? Or would you have a higher body count?
Probably higher.
I wanted to say hello to Tunnel Mental on YouTube. I know he reached out to me via chat. I forget where he said he's from, but hello, Tunnel Mental and War is a Racket. We have a couple chat items going on. I don't know if we should interact with chat or not, but
Well, it'll be 2 years for me this June 30th, so,
Nice
2
work.
years?
yeah.
Nice. Good job.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Yeah, June 30th, 2018. 2018? Yeah.
I feel like in all the times I've tried to quit, so-called tried to quit, it was, if I wasn't actually quit, then it was just a mental masturbation between saying I'm going to quit for a certain period of time and then having fun relapsing against that date. That was all I ever did. It was never anything other than that. Until I was actually quitting.
Yeah, you know you're done when you're done. Everything up until that is just a test run.
Yeah.
They say until you hit rock bottom, but I found that you can dig a lot farther down than rock bottom.
Depends how many
Everybody's
people
is
you're willing to drag down there with you.
Yeah.
Everyone's is different.
What's up, Nigel?
Oh, we got a new person. Hey.
We have a new person. This is Tunnel Mental. He makes music.
Nice.
Sweet.
You have to unmute yourself, Nigel.
There
Okay,
you
I'm
are.
going to try.
No,
Got
You
it.
are unmuted.
you're unmuted.
Okay.
We can hear you.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Zoom makes you do all these stupid things, so I have no idea. I'm Tunnel Mental, by the way. The moniker Tunnel Mental
Yeah.
is my music moniker, so that's all. I'm curious to see, because your subject matter was a bit more expansive than what I was listening to, which was about alcohol, which obviously deadens the senses in some sense. Sorry to use sense twice in a sentence.
It completely deadens the senses, and it
Yes.
makes your bubble very small.
It does, and when I first saw where I came to you was through watching you interview Becky Barron, who I'd only just started to recognise Becky Barron as being somebody who was very believable, and yet you have to drop all your perceptions, all your ideas of what is to understand that to her it's just, oh hi, yeah, I'm just gonna go past the Matrix. I mean, so she blows my mind. But some of the things she's been saying, I think yesterday, which was my birthday, she posted 4.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. She doesn't normally do that, so
Right.
you know, she posted 4 in a burst, and they were like hugely informative for me. You know, whatever reason, you know, I have and I've no idea what that reason might be. Although I'm trying to focus on it, and I think I might be a messenger. If she's a healer, then maybe I'm a messenger. I don't know. Maybe that's what my lyrics come from, where my words come from.
Yep.
I don't know. But
Are you on SoundCloud?
yeah. I mean, Tunnel Mental's on pretty much every digital platform that we can do for free.
Well, what do you prefer somebody who's new to your music go to? Which one?
Well, the only one I personally prefer, my music partner, who's having a lot of problems recently with his balance. My preference is Bandcamp, only because if people do like it and purchase it, it actually comes directly or almost directly without too much skimmed off the top. So I need them. I need the money. I mean, I'm quite happy to admit I need to make a living at doing this a little bit, and I'm open to it now. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check you out. I'm on Bandcamp as well.
Okay.
I had
Gary, isn't it? Gary, I saw you on your page. Gary Warren. We did. I mean,
Gary is me. I'm not on any Bandcamp or any music
You
site.
can't see. You can't see the face.
I can't see it at the moment.
Oh.
I'm. This is Omar.
Oh, hello, Omar. I
Talking.
don't know why I can't see it at the moment. I think this Zoom thing is being weird.
Are you on a computer right now?
Yeah. Let me.
Okay. Are you in the web browser or the Zoom app?
I'm in the web browser. There we go. Sorry.
That's fine.
There you go. I've got to drop that. The reason I was in the web browser was I wanted to turn off your YouTube because it does that echo thing. So here we are.
Feedback.
Here's me.
Perfect.
Hey. Okay. So yeah.
Who was I talking to? Omar at the bottom.
Dr. Beans.
Dr. Beans. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, I saw you on here before. Not on here, but on one of the videos that was put out. And, yeah, some of the stuff you were expanding on was really interesting in I think it was the one before last that you put up on your YouTube, Gary. So,
We talk about all kinds of crazy shit. It's about as crazy.
Yeah, we do.
You think Becky's crazy, like whatever I talk
No,
about
I don't
on this
think
channel.
Becky's crazy. That's the point. It's like, you know, things do resonate, you know? I mean, you know, we talk about... You know,
I don't think Becky's crazy. I don't even use crazy as a...
I know. Crazy good.
It's crazy.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like the words are all... They stopped having the right definitions anymore.
Stop using the C word. It's discriminatory against people with actual mental conditions, okay?
Before I
Stop
forget,
trying
I
to
just want to
co-opt
say
my
something
culture,
important about
alright?
band.
Okay, sorry, Steve. Sorry for offending you, Steven. I didn't mean to do that.
Poor
That's
little
okay.
snowflake.
You know, I mean, for many years, I've been fed.
This thought is going to drop out of my head, and it needs to be said. It's important. Bandcamp,
Okay.
never forget your password. Because
Okay.
if you forget your password, you email them, and they ask you to provide a file name of 2 things you uploaded, a photo ID, and all of this other shit. And I couldn't figure that out, so I had to download my Bandcamp manually and start another one.
Oh wow. Okay. I understand. I mean,
That's good information.
I mean, a lot of this technology that they're. I mean, okay. I don't want to get too deep into the rabbit hole right now because I had a really odd day yesterday because I'm in Los Angeles and I witnessed.
Oh, you are? I'm in Ventura.
Yeah. What?
I'm in Ventura. I'm like 40 miles away.
Okay, I have a friend who lives on this boat that works in music in Ventura Harbor.
Saki.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm about 10 minutes from there.
I didn't
Maybe
know
all
you
of
were
us
sitting
can have
next to me,
coffee sometime.
but I smell
Yeah,
you.
that'd be nice. That would be nice. Yeah, I don't want to go way down the rabbit hole, but yesterday with my birthday and connecting with my ex-wife and going out with my older teenage daughters and all that, it was a pretty stressful day because I try not to focus on me. As much as I have to work on me in order to understand who I am, I try not to focus on me personally in this human experience too much. I try and look at a big picture. But some of the words that keep coming into my head, and they have done since the start of this current crisis, which I think is purely manipulated. Pure manipulation, by the way. I don't think it's anything to do with anything but the powers that be at the moment that we've granted them the power, and I understand all that aspect of it, but it's, it's more clamp, and so I just see it as a time for me to just not focus on me, but because it was my birthday and my kids and they wanted to celebrate it and all that stuff, I had to focus on me, and I felt very anxious yesterday. I had a very anxious feeling, and then I come back, get out for the day with the kids. I come back, I turn on the TV, and I see just LA on fire and looting and bringing in the military, which, is no surprise. The police are militarized anyway, but the truth is, I've been on the protests in the past, peaceful protests, where they use beanbags and flashbangs, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're trying to scare us, I understand. But to actually bring National Guard or, bring the military, martial law into, they've lost control. They've completely and utterly lost control.
To say they lost control would imply that they weren't doing this on purpose.
No, the middle management, middle management have completely lost control. Not that they had much.
As it was designed.
Not that they had much control as middle management, but it was a filter. Like when we hear something, it goes through our filters. 64 years of putting in filters. The same thing. It's like middle management was a filter. And I suppose up until probably, I've been around since the 50s, but looking back through history, probably up till the Second World War, it was a pretty heavy-duty filter. It was pretty heavy-duty, but it had to go through that filter. The control system had to use middle management in order to put a face on things. But they
don't want to do that anymore.
But the middle management is no longer in control, and not only is it becoming crystal clear. It was always clear to you, Gary, and probably you too. Omar. Is it Omar?
Omar.
Yeah.
Omar is muted.
Oh, okay. What's your name?
Stephen.
It was probably crystal clear to you. I know it was crystal clear to you, Gary. You've opened your mind to many things, but it's like they're not even hiding behind the veil anymore.
Right.
If you want to go into the whole, Emerald City, blah blah blah. We've been on the journey down the rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. We found the Emerald City. We walked right in. We want our lives back. We want what's ours back because you've been fucking manipulating us. Pull back the curtain. When we pulled back the curtain, it was already clear to us that this was a manipulation because we did it, right, ourselves individually. But the collective is having the veil drawn back. But all they're seeing is the monster. They're not seeing the little man.
Yeah.
Right.
The little man, which is the self, which is the freedom and the vibration to say, fuck, I was doing this to myself. So to me, I'm getting all these like messages and words that I try and open as a portal, but it's so fucking clogged with AI and bullshit and things that, you know, people like Becky are making so much sense. Becky Barron, when she says this is more of the same, but it's just intense right now, and we need some relief from that, because just to be a witness is it's like rubbernecking accidents. It's like, fuck, no, I don't want to see anymore. I took 60 odd years to take off the fucking blinders, and now I'm putting one on. I don't want to be a witness to my children under this system not waking up. But they are. But they are. No, my children are. I mean, to be honest, my 19-year-old is just starting to go, fuck.
It's a little late, though, Nigel, for the ones that have never had one errant thought, or else they've always put it back in its correct spot. That's it's this so-called awakening. I don't know what the train wreck that is happening right now.
Right.
It's difficult to be like, all right, honey, you're gonna have to start on step one. I've done this for 60 years, or 30 years, or whatever, and there's lots of layers to this, but you're just gonna have to do this, like rip the whole thing completely off in one go, and that's difficult for people because it will shatter their consciousness. If you try to look at everything at once, you will be shattered, and
especially whenever you're younger and you have less time to digest it. Like the process of quote unquote waking up, which
the vibration is so fast. I agree. I mean, that's what I'm seeing with both my 19-year-old and 17-year-old daughters. Who, I mean, I've been all the time. I'm narrating my own awakening, whatever you want to call it. But I'm narrating that to them as they were growing up. So it's, they've had some background. But my ex, the mother of my two children, who lives just around the corner from me, I purposely moved just very close so as I can just walk around there and visit, and everything's peaceful, or I keep it peaceful. But my ex, who's Catholic, conservative, American born, went through a period of like complete oh my god, this is the world, and then when she had children just felt boom, it clamped back down again because of fear, and she just recently lost the one man in her life who means so much. It was the world to her. Well, the only living human being that meant the world to her besides Jesus, but that was esoteric, so she knew that. So she was okay with Jesus, but it's like her father died 2 years ago, so she's going through grief, and then her mother's in lockdown right now in an old folks home. Her family, 8 brothers and sisters, are all complete knee-jerk conservative, blaming Antifa for everything. They're those sort of people. So she's broken free of that through periods of grief. So yes, it's an awakening, but God, I mean, just to see her fighting with it and fighting with the children with it, is oh my God, it's so hard for me. I sat in the car pretty much all day. I live in Los Angeles, so of course I sit in the car all day just to go to the shops. But it's just to be a witness to the bickering. And it's like, she's bickering with herself.
Yeah.
She's 58 years old and she's bickering with herself, but she's using the kids as a sounding board. And the kids are defending their independence and their free minds. And oh my gosh, it's microcosm, macro. It's like zoom out all the time for me. And I don't know if I can continue to witness this and see it destroy a family that could very easily embrace a new, better way, and yet fearfully cling to something that's obviously dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously dead. We all know it is.
Especially Catholicism. Like, it's kind of hard to think that someone who's Catholic wouldn't have a little bit of understanding about how evil and corrupt the world is, considering Catholics have been pretty evil and horrible
Yeah, well, she was raised.
Well, it left that part out and just said, believe in God and everything's going to work fine.
Well, yeah.
It left out the part about God being yourself.
But she's starting to understand it.
They didn't leave it out; they took it out.
I'm being polite.
But the training is the training. Okay, learning is easy. Unlearning is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Learning is easy.
Oh,
Learning is rote. Look, cup of coffee, nicotine. I'm fine. Learning is easy. Unlearning. No. So it's the same thing. You get addicted to the system, and she needs the crutch of the idea of Jesus.
I understand.
Not Catholicism. She was raised Catholic with all the rules and regulations, which she's consistently broken.
Unlearning requires disconnecting the amygdala long enough for new patterns to come in and analyzing the existing ones. It's not for everybody, but it's important. Because if you take away the fear response and analyze not only your actions and your behaviors and your perceptions on things, then you can start to do self-therapy.
Yeah.
Or you just take some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Or you can just drop some acid.
There are many ways. But
mushrooms.
Part of the problem, and I'm going to say it because this isn't going to go anywhere. Well, are you going to post this on YouTube?
It's alright.
It always goes on to YouTube. I have nothing. That's
okay. Well, my kids might see it. So but one of the people I'm dealing with that has the problem went the other route. She went instead of the drug to open, she used the drug that closed.
Sure.
Opioids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll close it right up.
It's a little bit different than mushrooms.
Well, yeah, but she didn't understand at the time. She was with a person who was doing it the other way. So she wanted to experience it, and then has modified it because it's all about the receptor in the brain. She suppresses the receptor in the brain with the pills, and so it shuts off a part of that expansive part of the DSP part of drug taking, which can give you the open door.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
It closes the door. It does the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I was addicted to opiates for 4 years, and it was an incredibly spiritually numbing experience for me. Like, I closed myself off from my family, the people around me, but whenever I was taking psychedelics in order to expand my consciousness, I found exactly the opposite type of effect. Which is, I'm sure people can have experiences like Gary, where they smoke, something completely harmless and mind-opening, and they have a spiral of death where they feel like it's something that's taking them down as opposed to lifting them up. But at the same time, like, using any kind of substance other than the natural chemicals that your brain produces already erogenously in your own body, I think it tends to make it so that it's harder for you to get to that place again without help. But I prefer more holistic methods, like the twirling dervishes spinning around and getting their ecstasy that way, or hell, even people who like self-flagellate, that the whole G-code thing. There's lots of different ways to get up that mountain to break your consciousness open. I find, like you said, Nigel, about believing that it's harder to unlearn something than it is to learn something. Instead of learning shit, I tend to just add everything into my Lego box and then see what I can build out of it at any given time, and then I'm having no problem destroying it and be building something. But I never commit to any belief. I just have all these puzzle pieces in my brain, and whenever something quote unquote resonates with me, a lot of times it's just me looking through the box of pieces and seeing if the image that they are saying is something that can be made out of those puzzle pieces. So
Yeah.
I like that analogy. The Lego box. I like that as an analogy because, as a child I remember building all these fantastic things, and then my brother coming over and smashing it to bits, and I was like, okay, still got all the pieces, so I've still got it.
Exactly.
And he's like, no, I broke it. You should be getting mad. And I'm like, no, I've got all the pieces.
Most of the time, I just spend the day staring at the wall, letting my subconscious do all the heavy lifting, because that is the Lego box. I don't have to think through anything. If I have to think about something, it actually is mentally painful, and I have to stop.
Okay.
Yes, I agree with that to some degree.
So we're back to not thinking with this and recognizing full intuition. I mean,
well, you have 100,000 times more neurons in your stomach than you do in your brain. Your brain is just supposed to control. Your brain is just supposed to control your spine.
Yes, I mean we know so little of biology and physiology and then.
But there is something very
neurology. I mean, if we
interesting.
Neurology.
Two things need to be said. I'm very interested in hearing everything you have to say, Nigel, and I wanted to say something about what Stephen had mentioned a minute ago before I forget.
Okay.
It was about the spinning and the Sufi spinning.
Yeah,
if you spin around, it goes in sets of 33. I don't remember why, but if you spin around 99 times and then you put your hands like this and you focus through your hands and then you bring it to right around the solar plexus, the middle of your chest. What you're doing is you're building a standing columnar wave. You're basically, by doing the spinning, you're temporarily magnetizing a miniature vortex wherever you're spinning at. And then when you bring your hands together, it unifies and it closes the electrical field and it makes it go through your body again. And then you stand there and you're kind of collecting that kinetic energy of having spun around. So that's sort of like the closing position of it.
Maybe that's why
really
kids really like to spin just randomly, just get dizzy.
Yeah,
most kids
but
like doing that.
If you don't do the hand thing, it has way less effectiveness. If you do the hand thing and you just sit there with it, you're standing up, you will literally feel like you're in another universe.
How many times are we supposed to
99.
spin? We're going to try it after this show's over.
99.
99 spins, and then do this?
Just do it now.
Do it now?
Right there.
I'm so lazy. I get dizzy standing up.
Me too.
You ready? Let's all do it at once.
I don't know if I could do 99. I'll give it a go because I know
you can do 33.
Oh my god!
33, 66, or 99.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I know they're powerful numbers.
Steven, are you in a different universe now?
I mean, I'm not even in this dimension anymore, man. So.
All right, I'm gonna try 33.
Dr. Beans, I want to know something from your perspective, Doctor, about.
You're gonna fall down.
Oh no, about
1, 2.
a neurological problem a friend of mine is having. My music. I had a mini stroke a few days ago, and he had a blood clot in his brain. They went in through, angioplasty, dispersed it. He's fine. He's got little tingly feeling in his left hand, hasn't got definition. But the most important thing to him is the music producer. And he's lost that high definition of sound that's necessary for him to be a producer. Now, I mean, there are many psychological reasons that I believe that those things happen. Is there a neurological pathway that you think can be reopened to give him back the auditory all because it's nothing to do with ears. This is a brain bleed. This is a blood clot that was dispersed and went away. I mean, it's only happened recently, so could it come back, or alternatively, is it possible to rebuild the neurotransmission? The neurological
mushrooms.
transmitter.
She rebuilt her brain with mushrooms. She said she felt the plant actually going and rewiring the neurons.
Okay, so first of all, I'm not actually a licensed doctor.
I know. No way! Are you kidding me? Dr. Frijoles, is it real?
I'm a licensed doctor.
I signed up for your clinic, bro.
The reason I'm asking,
are we gonna let me talk or fill it with hyperbole? Shut up, Steve.
Please.
I want to answer the man's question.
Please.
Okay, so as long as the body, I just wanted to disclaim, not legal medical advice, blah, 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 because people are crazy. Okay, so if you come to sue me, this video's on YouTube and your ass is stupid. Okay, I'm teasing. I know you're not the type. But, so, the body, as long as it has DNA intact and isn't super vaccinated and not getting pumped full of crap food and all that, the DNA will code for the optimal conditions for that body. So, if he had a blood clot in his brain, it's because there was something in there that made that happen. Maybe he has a high level of magnesium or something that the brain was trying to push out through the bloodstream, but it just, maybe it finally did, and maybe that blood clot was that vascular system opening up. Oftentimes when doctors perform surgeries like that, it's because they don't know any better, but very much the case is that now he probably just needs to take some single ingredient amino acids. There's a really excellent company called purebulk.com. There's basically the building block amino acids that the body would need to be healthy should be supplemented for several months, and some basic vitamins like salt, magnesium, zinc, things like that. But the whole idea is that yes, everything comes back. It just sometimes needs the chemical messengers to go, oh, you mean we have access to this chemical that we needed before? You're telling me it's here now? Oh, cool, let's recode this. Okay, now let's heal. It just takes a little time, but yeah, you have to tell the body that it can do that, and then it unlocks the gate to certain, perfect example, I have this here, which is liquid ionic magnesium, and if my body was deficient in something that needed magnesium or that needed iodine, this one is liquid iodine, I would just take a few drops of this. No, that doesn't have iodine in it. That has iodine in it. This is pure iodine. You can put 20, 30 drops of it, just drink it. You have iodine in every single body needed that, and I recognized the symptoms of that. I took that, and then my body goes, oh, we have iodine again. Okay, let's heal. It's that simple. You just have to go about it methodologically.
Oh my God!
Kitty!
Don't bring it back here.
Don't kitty.
That's a trusting cat.
That's what
you must love that cat.
Do when they're young and you. By the way, Gary, when you posted that video the other day of throwing the cat, don't do that. They don't like that.
She did like that. Uh-oh. Whoops. That's it. Show's over, folks. You did like that, didn't you, Kat? Did you like that, kitty cat? Be honest now. Hmm? Did you like that, kitty cat? Did you like that, kitty cat?
Says my package is delivered, but it's not delivered.
Which package?
Mine. The other thing I was waiting for.
What's the other thing?
My molds. 10 minutes ago.
Yo, molds.
You wouldn't have been able to put it in the mailbox, right?
Oh my God, Daniel's just waking up. That's not fair to Nigel. Life's not fair, Nigel. Sorry, my friend. Life is not fair. Is life fair, people? Is it fair, or is it not fair? For sure it's not fair. Oh. Maybe I'll do...
Can you do one more? Woo! Now I'm freezing.
Maybe I'll do one more, but I just won't participate. Like we did that one time. Because I'm tired of being on the camera. You know what I mean?
What are you saying?
Maybe I'll start another one so they can chit chat and whatnot, and I'll just not be on it. Perhaps. Let us see. Let it be, let it be. Oh, that was really bad. Let it be, let it be. Speaking words of dumbness. Okay. Or maybe nobody else wants to talk and I can be left in peace. Maybe. I don't know if Nigel's actually coming back. I've just been yawning during this whole thing. I'm ready to go back to bed. Oh. Scribble. That's what the protest is about, staying neutral.
No, this is an actual level-headed person.
Nah, I don't think. I think we're done here today.
What?
I think I'm done here today. Or maybe Dan will come on and talk for a couple seconds. He just woke up. That's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness, I'm tired. How do these people have energy to run around and burn shit up? The heck? I'm not at my limit of free. That's some nonsense.
What? Kitty, why?
Yeah. How the funk? I don't believe it. I think that's fake news. Fake news, Omar.
What?
He says he thinks I'm at my limit of free.
There's no limit.
I know. Omar's spinning propaganda. Spreading propaganda.
Are we spreading propaganda?
Just you.
No, just you.
I don't do that. Hey, where's my video? Oh.
Yeah, why don't you have video yet? Oh, there we go.
I'm only doing this for, like... Hold on. I need to... Because Dan just woke up and he wants to join, but I don't feel like talking. I don't feel like talking anymore, so I'm just going to let you guys chat.
Well, how does Nigel get this link? You have to push it out. You're connected to all of them.
Is he trying to come back on?
I think we just rudely stopped the last meeting and everybody's wondering, they're waiting for you for instructions.
Okay, hold on. I didn't rudely stop the meeting. Zoom did that.
Well, yeah, but you knew that was coming, so by you not doing anything, it would be thus equivalent. Just push out the link. I'll let them in.
Hold on. Okay. Dan.
Oh my god, your cat's in the fucking closet.
She likes to fly.
The cat is... Yeah.
Literally on top of the closet in the middle.
Yep.
Good job, cat. Okay.
I was like, Gary, your closet's moving.
Yes.
Oh, just a cat.
Yes.
That's how she do.
She's a special one. Okay.
Ah, there we go. Hello.
So,
I unmuted?
Yeah, you're
I
on
can hear
mute.
you.
But you have to turn the thing off because it's gonna have feedback.
He's a special one. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, Gary, all that feedback is coming from your Mac.
This is from mine?
From your Mac, you had the delay.
I don't have it on. There's no sound. I don't have it playing anywhere. That's somebody else.
But you have to turn the thing off because it's gonna have feedback. He's a special one.
Is it mine? Maybe it is mine. Hold on.
Is this from mine?
I don't,
I don't have it on
infinite regress. Help! It's hurting my brain.
Mute it.
That's somebody else.
It's me. It's me. It must be me. 1 second.
It's Nigel.
It's not. The audio quality is from Gary's mic. I mean, yes.
Is that better? I think it was you too. Because I went back to answer why we were bumped off.
Yeah, you were playing YouTube in the background, Nigel. That was what was
So
happening.
it was just echoing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, the latency was from you. Oh, okay.
See, Omar? You see now? See, Gary knows things every once in a while.
Well,
Gary knows things, but sometimes I fuck up too.
it wasn't a latency issue. It was just the delay between this live and YouTube.
I knew it wasn't on my end because I was never playing the video from my computer.
I was. So as I could try and get hold of you, because my messenger went down the same time as Zoom went down. So did my Facebook page went down as soon as the Zoom went down. I mean, it was just bizarre. It was like a cascade.
Okay, it's okay.
Nigel, has Gary told you about the social network that I run yet?
No.
I've been watching the space for like 20 years now, and I've started acting on it. I run a network called mytribes.net. And yeah, .net.
Okay.
And the point is to slowly trick everybody into rehumanizing themselves through a platform that moves slowly and gets everybody to interact. And so when you go and sign up, the sign up is really easy. You just have an account name, an email, and a password. But then it locks you into filling out a profile, a description, uploading a picture, and so on. And then it won't let you do anything with the site until you do that. And that's because when people are held to a level of psychological accountability by, filling out a description, putting their face on it, it breeds, you're smart. You get what I'm doing. But
yeah, I do. I mean, originally, because I'm old. I'm not smart. I'm old. Originally, when I started playing with the internet, which was a boon for me, because all the whole DIY, I think, of my own personal belief with music and art.
The one thing I ordered
was like, now we've got a portal, and then it went to shit. But the original thing where you had it was built user up. It was like from user up.
Yeah.
So that original idea was soon scrapped with social network and the way that it was. I mean, I like to think of the analogy, that there is a continuous thing that we're witnessing right now. Big fish eats the little fish, big is little fish, big fish. So it was feeding into that, and it was feeding into the idea that to run it as a capital generating machine was always going to self implode. So
now we're going back to
user.
Distributed mesh.
Yeah, I like mytribes.net. I like the idea of it. I will join.
Excellent. It would be really good to have you there.
Thank you. I did friend you on Facebook, by the way, just now.
Oh, okay.
And I got Facebook back up. That was you, I presume.
Yeah. I also run an IRC server.
Oh, good. Somebody's a lot more savvy than I am with technology. I know how to push buttons. I mean, people's buttons and buttons on a computer. but that's it. You know, I mean, there's a little bit in there. Obviously, it's like when you drive a car and it breaks down, you go, "Oh, what is it?" You know. But I'm not. I'm just not a tech whiz.
Have you used IRC before?
No.
IRC is one of the oldest chat technologies on the web.
Oh, okay.
It was first kind of pushed around in the 70s within like room to room, but then they, when they released the internet, sort of that went live with AOL in like 92, 93, 94. IRC was in development, and the server that I run has that software has been in development constantly since 1994.
Okay.
So it's very, very, very robust, very stable. It does exactly what it's supposed to do every single time, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that story. You know, I talk about my ex-wife as being, you know, knee-jerk, Catholic, conservative.
Well, I'm sure she's a lovely person.
She is a beautiful person, but when I first met her, she'd come out of a relationship where she was taking methadone because she didn't want to be hooked on what she was hooked on from her ex-boyfriend. But she had a high-powered job prior to that, and she was working as a salesperson for a company called LexisNexis.
Oh, God.
Right. But prior to that, she had a high-powered job, and she was a personal assistant on the trading floor in Los Angeles at their tiny part of the Wall Street debacle, working for Mike Milken.
Mm-hmm.
And she got dragged into the Milken inquiry when Milken was done for junk bonds.
The real estate guy, right?
Yeah, but well, it was junk bonds. He started. He
found, that one.
He found a loophole many years ago. Found a loophole, legal loophole, that allowed him to bundle derivatives and sell them on as junk bonds. He knew they were junk, but it was perfectly legal for him to trade them for lots of money. And he was used as a scapegoat whilst the people that prosecuted him took the idea and were bundling the real estate, you know, the whole idea that you can own the earth, you know, that sort of
the subprime thing.
Yeah, all the subprime stuff. So they took his template and went, yeah, that's illegal. Trading junk bonds, selling people garbage, no, you can't do that. And they prosecuted him. He did his time. He ended up getting cancer, blah, blah. You know, he was an evil man because he was taking advantage of the system. But he was taking advantage of it to such a legal, I mean, apparently he was so super bright. A bit like Elon Musk. Super bright, but corrupted. So the corruption got him in trouble, but they took the idea of the corruption and then expanded it into what we see today is trading shit for money. So she was influenced by that, and she always defended Milken. Then she joined another company because she is so beautiful and amiable, and she was so fucking naive. She was so naive that she took H because her boyfriend took it, and it made him feel better, and she wanted to know what that felt like. I mean, and it's ruined her whole life. Anyway, but less of that, more of her trail after that was going to LexisNexis, which was a company that was set up knowing probably IRC technology and knowing the user up platform, and set up all the legal libraries in the world and condensed them and then sold their package to lawyers. So she was going around all the high high flying, big glass obelisk, selling Nexus. I mean, it was at the time when, cell phones were the size of a house brick, but she was, and it was so high powered, she had a breakdown. Now she was going through detox, methadone, which nobody knew about, at the same time as having a breakdown. So, and then a year later I meet her after a big breakup with my mum. So we were so broken winged, but we came from so totally different ends of the spectrum that we made up a bird. And it flapped around for a while, but now we can't even see eye to eye. So, to get back to the technology, I saw the birth and the abuse of this wonderful technology, and now I'm seeing the absolute corruption of where it can go, with people like Gates and Musk being heralded as new messiahs. I think in the original invite to this thing, there was like, who's going to be the new messiah? You have to be, because they aren't, not you.
Oh yeah.
All of us. But it's like, and that's a real problem within a system that they've built this web so thick that my children are growing up not knowing anything but this. In fact, the digital me is probably more powerful than the physical me in their life. And that's fucked.
Oh yeah. And the key to surviving the next 20 years and on with society is going to be centered around people realizing that they are the ones that are in charge of the things that they want to do and achieve on a day-to-day basis. As common sense as that sounds, that understanding of one's personal relationship with the self and within the world as they move about has been completely cloistered and transformed by the digital paradigm that you've been talking about.
Well, I think
and it's common sense too. It's not really hard, but because we're old enough to know. But
yeah. I mean, I wrote this. And there's not a plug for my book. I can send you a copy. I don't care. I named my poetry Uncommon Sense because
I like it.
Because it's no longer a common sense thing. I'm talking about my music partner and his five senses. The most important of his senses have been stunted by probably drugs, probably alcohol, probably foods, probably things that he ingests not knowingly. So, there's an uncommon sense that's going to have to get him to cleanse. And that's why I was asking if you think it was possible to rebuild the neurological pathways that attach to his hearing, which is the most important sense of the five. I know there are many more. The five known senses that we're working with. The five forces.
Absolutely.
So, in order to rebuild that, I think he may have to detox.
That's a part of it, yeah.
But the cleansing part, I was very interested in understanding what you meant by the amino acid, because I've been reading since I found out this happened yesterday, which, I've also read in the past because my father-in-law went through a really terrible brain bleed stroke, which completely lost left side. But I had better conversations with him after he lost the left side of his brain and the left side of his body, because he at the same time as losing that, he lost all the built-in filters that I've talked about that are really here. But,
Yeah, that's left brain stuff.
Yeah, so when I talked to him after he'd had his stroke, my father-in-law, very old, and he passed away 2 years ago. But it's like, most importantly, my friend Derek needs to rebuild this neural pathway, and if he doesn't do the exercise and go through the process of rebuilding it, he's never going to get his full hearing back. You probably know the difference between pink and white noise.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm an audio engineer as well.
Okay, so he explained it to me yesterday as like white noise is everything, pink noise is the he called it even numbers and odd numbers. So he said he's got full hearing. So I mean, to most doctors, and if you went to a hearing specialist, they say, no, your hearing's fine. He's an audio engineer. His heightened sense of hearing was through brain stimulation, not the mechanics, but the brain stimulation. So when they went in and dispersed this blood clot, they may have done some damage. Now, maybe that's what it is, rather than the blood clot itself. But I'm just curious as to that neural network, because I think it was when I was reading about the neurological impact of a full brain bleed, it was saying that 6 million or more electrical impulses happen every second in your brain. And it was like, oh, really? So there's the natural path, way, the chemical rebuild of the structure to help the brain. But I'm wondering if there's any esoteric, more spiritual, I suppose, wrong word, but more, yeah.
Maya?
More, Maya. So, yeah. So,
oh, no, Maya, as in, that's really good, dirt pile making. I understand.
What do you do? Oh, good.
Yeah, okay. So there's numbers of different things going on with you have the Chinese explained it really well with the 5 bodies. Before I forget, I have a book of poetry that I wrote as well, and I called it Poems from the Outside Edge.
Nice.
So it's pretty much the same concept as your title, where it's like looking into the box from the outside of the box. But anyway, just I'm happy to get you a copy of that as well. But to go back to what your friend is experiencing, the Chinese have a really nice way of looking at it. I don't really have anything against the Chinese, but they've always been very strange to me, almost like an alien race on the earth with the way they behave. But they do have some good, interesting stuff with in their culture and their medical knowledge. They say that we have 5 bodies: the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and astral. And 4 of them kind of sit interwoven with each other. And then if you look at the way the hand is formed, look up real quick.
Yeah.
Look at the screen. So you have the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, and the mental, and then you have the astral. And those are all components that sort of slot in the chakra system and in the spine. And then you have the astral, which is the antenna, which is where most people get programmed with all the radio and microwave stuff. But it's also where you have your connection to the greater universe. So he, very well, given the lifestyle choices that you've said he's made by your exposition, sounds like he has some cleansing absolutely to do with the physical body. He probably has some unresolved emotional issues that turned into physical issues. He has some astral stuff. He had all 5 bodies sound like they were affected. But ultimately, the point I'm making is they all bleed through to each other because they're all in the same column. The spinal fluid runs from one to the other, and it's just really about taking the time to clean things out and be very regimented and methodical about it, and also to go slow enough where you're not trying to take a Western model of Band-Aid, wait 2 weeks, call me in the morning, you should be better now, because it doesn't work like that. There's a proportional level of healing time very often to the amount of abuse that a body endured. It may take, say, for 6 months you are a heroin junkie, it might take you at least 6 months to get rid of that.
Right.
And I'm not using this as a one-to-one correlative model, because obviously that takes a lot longer than 6 months. But say you ate bacon for 6 months, and you ate a lot of bacon every day for 6 months. It will take you at least 6 months to metabolize all of that junk fat that's been fettered around the different parts of the body and pocketed away for later. Okay? So I wouldn't expect to see any... sure, you might start to feel better, but I wouldn't expect to see tangible, integrative, holistically integrative healing on the resultant level for quite a while, but you'll definitely see incremental improvements in various aspects of him as he's going through this process much sooner than that.
Right.
But the entire thing will take a while.
Yeah.
And just to be mindful of that.
No, I mean, I haven't raised my expectations. I'm just, at the moment, I'm taking tiny steps towards the idea of whether or not it is actually possible to I hate to use the word grow, but rebuild neural pathways once they've been broken. Now, neurologists say, no, that's an impossibility. Once it's everything. I don't know so much, but to me, that's me letting go of the idea that a neurologist knows best. So my perception is different from Derek's, and so when people say, how did the ancients move giant stones, build stone circles, and I said, well, they believe they could do it, so it's a faith issue. So where do you put your faith? And I mean, if he puts his faith in the neurologist who's going to tell him, no, it's not going to happen, then he's going to live recognizing that he's not healing himself.
That he's not capable of achieving that thing, yeah.
I mean, my dad's got brain cancer at the moment, he's dying, he's old school, he's 84, he's in England, and I talk to him on the digital network because I can't go there. It's the stupid game that people are playing with whether or not I'm allowed to fly on a plane instead of the astral one, but one of their networks.
Sure, yeah.
But it's, so I do it digitally. But he's going through brain cancer at the moment. He had a shadow on his lung, they called it lung cancer, and he said people get over lung cancer, and it was obviously it was inoperable. He's late 80s, or mid 80s, and they let it go, and he was fine. And then of course it travels, cancer won't sit still, so it travelled up his spine and it's in his brain. And they said, he fell over one day and he was like, oh, I feel terrible. And so he saw the doctor and was down the brain to travel to the brain. And you've got 3 or 4 weeks to live. Well, that was easily 3 months ago. So, he is a fighter. He's one of those people who will cling, like desperately to anything that's rough. And I told him, I said, people get past brain cancer and it's misdiagnosed all the time. And he's angry and probably is going to die fairly soon, but I hope he falls asleep and doesn't wake up, which means it's not a painful death for my mum to witness, and that hurts. Where was I going? So I shifted his belief system from the doctor who told him you've got 3 or 4 weeks to live into people don't, a lot of people get past that diagnosis, don't worry about it. That was enough for my dad because he listens, and even though he might be a curmudgeon, he's he listens. So I just hope that Derek doesn't put all his, and he doesn't normally. I mean, he does lots of physical exercise. He eats really well. He looks after his physical, mental, emotional self. I'm not sure if he understands spiritual or astral quite as much as you and I might do, but we're only having faith in it because, of course, you can't write down a formula. But he is a dyed-in-the-wall anti-religion guy. Now, that doesn't mean he's not spiritual, because we've talked great. He and I have been friends for 30 years, so we've had long talks about many subjects, and when it comes down to religion, he's absolutely like, it's just a fucking control system and shit. It's rubbish. But I hope he hasn't lost faith in the spiritual world and in the idea that the spiritual and astral self are as important to keep in balance. I personally haven't been very aware myself, even though I have had some astral travel and I've had out-of-body experiences. I don't look after the astral self. I let the astral self look after the 4 senses that I'm aware of, the spiritual, emotional, physical, mental self. I let that happen. Rather than try and feed it, I let it feed me.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you have perhaps a lot of unresolved emotional pain around not being able to see people that you love and care about be the best version of themselves that you know they should be?
Fuck off.
Wow.
Well, if you want to hit a nail on the head that hard, yes.
Okay.
That is my whole issue. That is my everything.
It comes through very clearly in the way that you communicate. Because you're communicating with words, but you're communicating with your emotional body. There's a lot of bleed over.
Okay.
So for you, I think it would be important to just sit on a rock talking to a tree and come to the conclusion that you really don't have any say in that because that's their choice. But if they ask, then you can advise. And that'll bring you a lot of peace that you don't currently have.
Okay. I have to wait for them to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're actually going against the nature of the universe, and you are unfairly affecting the trajectory of their output here.
Okay.
They can't learn it until they learn it themselves. You can't teach them.
Which is probably why most of my pain comes from witness.
Yes.
Okay.
Because your expectations are that they should know because you've taught them. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I mean, I know to a lot of people that might have sounded like a lot of hoo-ha, but to me,
no, it doesn't.
That's focusing my attention on me again by saying, oh, thank you for the Band-Aid. I don't mean that.
No, it doesn't sound like hoo-ha because I've actually been intently listening the entire time and synthesizing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It really means a lot to me. I mean, because I've been trying really hard. Like all day yesterday, I had that. Well, I don't know if you ever experienced it, but you probably have. Most people do. Is that anxiety bubble? It feels like indigestion. You know, it's like it's a blockage. I mean, I understand it being a blockage, but it's like, you know, you can't fucking breathe. It's like this indigestion feeling, but it's a ball of anxiety because my expectations are not being met by those I'm sat in.
It's a buildup of neurons in the. Hold on. Pretend we're at the beach. It's a buildup of neurons at the solar plexus. This area right here. The signals are getting stuck.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's a normal reaction to a world that is experiencing tremendous growth.
Yeah. Okay.
All of this, and the funny thing is, life always finds a way. So right now the world is being pushed through so much entropy that it's impossible for it to not grow. And from all of this chaos, good always will win because it had no matter. So if you look at it in a very simple way, all of the evil things that have been happening in the last 200 years or so, they iteratively adjust and will change form once the thing that they tried doesn't work. And they'll just keep going to a new thing and a new thing. And that formula is reaching its theoretical maximum right now. Because we're at that maximum point, everything that's built and predicated upon all of those, I don't want to use the word constructs, but everything that's predicated upon that formula is breaking down all at once because it cannot sustain itself. Because the universe is designed to reflexively experience itself, and there's too much of that, and it's out of balance. So it has now introduced so much entropy on the outlying edges of the system that it's all coming into the center of the circle, and all of the stuff that is not sustainably correct is dying, and all of the life is finding a way, and it will supersede it. It's just going to be really fucking ugly for a while until it realizes it can and starts to do that.
Okay. No, I'm getting that picture. What you know, in my fumbling around, I was like, oh, this mistake on top of this mistake on top of this mistake. And we get to the point where it's like, well, all the mistakes have been made, so now it's time to get the, you know, we found the right way. You know, I mean, it's like it's almost like watching a child make its own mistakes and learn from them. You know, it's like you get to the point where it's like eventually that adult goes, oh, now I know. You know, so for me to witness the layers and layers and layers and layers. I mean, some of my music was fucking horrible when I first started writing because it was just an ugly narrative to what was going on, and then slowly over the years, it too was starting to evolve, recognizing that that's not the way, that's not the way, that's not the way. This, you know. So to me, it's that sounds like ego.
No, it doesn't, but just to throw in there very briefly, do you ever go back to your old pieces and re-listen to them and go, oh, I see what I was trying to do now.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty brilliant. I just didn't quite have this part of it yet.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I mean, you know, this is why my music partner means so much to me and why I want to try and help him get his full senses back, because he had a way of being with music that was so, and I used the words of somebody recently, a DJ played our stuff on the radio. I said, yeah, Derek and I are copacetic. I didn't need to tell him what to do with the music. and he didn't need to tell me what to do with the lyric, and I didn't need to tell him that you know, we've done this in the past, so we don't do that anymore. It was all very copacetic. There was a lot of unspoken communication going on in our little studio every day. It was quite an amazing, cathartic experience for me to be in the studio with Derek and just melt, you know, that whole, like, and it's working, you know, so, again, I'm having to witness some of that being taken away, but at the same time, and I now know that it's temporary, so.
Just like
Everything is
math,
temporary.
just like math, music is a way to express the spaces in between objects in the universe. So if somebody doesn't, it's very easy for somebody that understands the relationships between spaces to work with somebody who also understands that relationship.
Oh my god! I mean, at one point my band was up to a 10-piece because I had all these ideas, and I was going, no. When the bass comes, I need the bass player to play that. I need the keyboard player over to do this, and the drum. And I had 10, and it was like herding cats. Because I was in Los Angeles, where everybody, again, you know, I recognize it now. Again, I was working. I was trying to control the outcome.
Yeah, that only works for Led Zeppelin.
So perfect, yeah. But it was so. Oof, I mean, it was so hard, but so to come back down to a 2-piece and then realize that, oh yeah, that's what I needed, you know, was great. And then now, you know, we've got a huge backlog, back catalogue of and very recent stuff that was finished and produced and ready to go. So he needs to heal, I need to heal, and then we can get back to doing what we do. So I feel confident now that if I don't interject and try and rush the process for Derek, if I don't interject too much, then I think it will be, you know, only a matter of a short amount of time till I can do what I think I do best with him. But in the meantime, obviously, I can continue to write.
And you need to consider at least taking that proclivity to interject and channeling that energy into a new hobby.
Yeah.
Because that will keep that delineation of space that he needs to heal delineated and not mushy.
Yeah.
Maybe get an old typewriter and see if you can get, you know, anything.
Yeah.
Can be anything.
I mean, that's weird. Yeah, but it's good. It's good weird. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
All the old typewriters have personalities because they're metal. They've been used so much.
Yeah.
I have 3 Smith Coronas from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and one of them literally refuses to do anything except write technical documents. And it's 110 pitch, so it was used in a law office.
Wow. So I mean, getting ribbons for those old typewriters, that's still okay. I mean, because you know, as one technology advances, this thing, you know, the other one gets thrown on the scrap heap. So
yeah, or if you can't find them, I know people with 3D printers that can probably just print some.
Oh, I can find typewriters. I'm talking about like the
yeah. The ribbon took me a little while to track down. I had to order them from some guy in Alabama.
Okay.
my timing must have been good because I literally texted him right the second that it was turning off. Remember, you have 45 minutes. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for hanging out.